All right. Let's see what we got out here. So first off, let's look at our low flow scanner. Low flow scanner, I am seeing XCure, NCPL, and YGMZ. XCure is the only one that really is you know, looking tradable. It's up 61%. Let's flip over to the high floats. The high floats, I see VOR up $11 up 39%. 10 million shares traded. SNTI as well, and then Nvidia. All right, so let's go do, well, before we do that, on the on watch, these are the ones that we saw yesterday moving. A couple of these I cut out. I saw them up yesterday afternoon, but looks like they wanted to die a little bit. So let me click through them real quick. So the first one that we saw yesterday was WVE. WVE, it grinded all the way up here, and now it's still up. It's still holding up. So I'm gonna keep that one on watch just to make sure it go ahead and crashes out. We got FULC. This is one that I traded yesterday. We saw it during pre-market. I was kind of, well, it always does it and then it flips around like that. All right, so traded this one yesterday. I was looking for structure, found a little bit of structure from pre-market lows, walking up here, and I ended up entering this at 1434 and zoom in. Corner. All right, so I was looking for structure on this one yesterday, and I found it. 1434 is where I entered. 1434. It did feel me a little bit high in this little range, and I just held. I was looking for this top 14 whatever to break for this $15 test. And it did happen. It happened and it gave it back quickly. That was the issue. I was in this 1434 and it popped up here to set 1576, and I was like, okay, let me give it a little bit to play. Put my stop in there at 1450. That was locking in the 15 cents, and I was looking for it to hold up here above 15, but it did not. It slammed back down on me, stopped me out. But I got my the cents that I was looking for. But I was looking for it to just walk up towards that 16. Now it was heavily owned by institutions. So I was like, okay, well, if it holds up, this is going to be really good because it can grind higher because of how large the float is. But at the same time, I was expecting a ring down like this, and that's exactly what it did. And I think it was this candle that stopped me out of the last part of my position. I was in on this one, got up here, just was taking little bits, but I was leaving most of it on just to see if it'll hold, and it slammed down. So it is what it is. It was still a green trade yesterday on this one. It was the only one I saw with the catalyst that I like, the sickle cell, and I just let it go. But let's go ahead and continue to march through the rest of these. TWG went all the way to 26 yesterday. This was this the Hong Kong one? This was the one that was block trading, so didn't do anything with that. And yeah, that was blocked. So I'm gonna clean that one off. It's down 50% right now. BDRX kind of flatlined as well, down 14%. CETX, flatline. All of these without catalyst was moving. It was just like, why are you even up? You know, why are you even up? We buy actually had catalyst from yesterday, so yeah, but I don't think it's gonna be doing anything today with this low volume. Um, oops, this volume here that has only 45,000 shares traded. If it was gonna be hot, it would be a lot hotter than that. I don't like that. We buy ORKT, saw that one pop up. Again, just no catalyst, just spreading its wings. All right, so let's get to what we have on today though. So starting with the low floats SX Cure, go and deep dive on that one. And I've seen a lot of these medical stocks or these biopharmaceutical stocks coming out with clinical trials and preclinicals and all of that. So maybe that'll continue today, but I'm not looking for that type of movement. After a day with all these no catalyst stocks ripping, I'm looking to be more of a range player than a let me see a breakout player, right? Because things always end up coming down, especially after we have like 300-400% movers out of nowhere. That kind of can spike the punch a little bit. People kind of back off of it. But anyway, let's look into XCure. All right, XCure has a float of 2.38 million. 0.38 million. Has a profile that is XCure Inc. does not have a significant operation. Previously, the company focused on developing of nucleic acid therapies, um, targeting ribonucleic acid against validated targets. XCure Inc. was founded in 2011 and is headquartered in Redwood City, California. So it doesn't have significant operations. It clearly says that in the profile, so all right, and then it is a biotech with 7 employees, just enough to keep them paid. Okay, so got my notes on that. Here's my notes right there. That one. So no significant operations is a red flag for sure. Let me go and see if they have any kind of shelf registrations over here. Xcure. Does have a shelf. This shelf registration is a little bit out of date. From 2022. So older shelf registration, but the lack of operations probably why they haven't put one in. Really aren't doing anything. All right, so let's look at the next thing. We have SNTI over here on the higher floats. SNTI. Ooh, look at SNTI. 254 up to 3 something. What's your news, big boy? SNTI. Senti Biosciences. All right, so Senti Biosciences Inc., a clinical stage biotechnology company, develops cell and gene therapies engineered with this gene circuit platform technologies for patients living with incurable diseases. Its lead product candidates utilize off the shelf healthy adult donor derived natural killer cells to create CARNK cells. Okay. They treat blood cancers. And that's another one we just saw. Xcure will also with this nucleic acids. Both of these are dealing within the blood, within the DNA and all of that stuff. So blood cancers. Let's see, solid tumor cell therapy programs. This one is out of South San Francisco, California. Let's go and see its numbers. So this is healthcare and biotechnology as well. So add that note. Add that note, and then we have let's go look at the float for this one. Usually higher floats. I kind of watch those during the intraday. Let's see how high this float is. This one is a float of 9.74 million. 9.74 mil. Out of okay, I do need to take notes on the insiders and institutions on this one. It's 22% on the institutions, 56% on the insiders. Insiders are holding the most here. We need to go see if they have a shelf registration to see if they can actually drop shares on us. So let me go over there, man. Go to SNTI. Does have a dual shelf registration out here from January, February, March of this year. Shelf registrations. It looks like they got two out. Okay. Double. Geez, does have a shelf registration. And let's go and see where this one was from. This one was out. I think it was California. South San Francisco, California. Yeah. Oh, Cali. Cali coming with the heat today. All right, so there's my notes. Activate. My little notes there. I always keep them on there so I can stay up to date and don't forget what's going on. The next one is VOR. And we haven't even looked at the charts yet. We're just getting news. We're gathering information on the news on these things. All right, VOR. Did you have okay, so it's just a price target update. Looks like market moving. JP Morgan initiates coverage on Vor Biopharma with overweight rating. Okay, so I really don't care about this one, but I'm gonna look into it just to make sure that it's not dangerous on today. Vor is out of another. This one's out of Massachusetts, Cambridge, Massachusetts. It works on acute myeloid leukemia and other blood cancer. So blood cancer seems to be a thing today. So VOR, what is your vote? Got 154 employees. 54 employees. We have serious blood cancers. Okay, so keyword is blood cancers, it seems. Oh, let's see. So let's go look at your float. float on this one is 8.91 million. Then we have larger holding by institutions in this one on board. Okay, got my notes out there. All right, so any others that we need to look into? We looked into SNTI, we looked into VOR, and we looked into XCure. I see another one that just got added up here, GIPR, but that looks very choppy, and it hasn't had news since 11, so November 17th. So nah. So the only one in the low floats is XCure that really, stood out as $8 and something with 5 million shares, but it is still behind these higher floats. So we really don't want to see a lower float operating at a, less attention than the higher float. So that kind of gives us more reason to kind of just hold off, find structure. All right, so let me activate this, move this over. Okay, so let's go to the charting finally. So starting off with XCure, we're going to go over to the daily chart first. So where everything starts is that daily chart. I must have looked at this one before because we must have been back here at 8.4 when we were looking at it. I will clean all of this off. Now the drawing said just to and remove. These points may be still valid, but I'm not sure. All right, so I keep drawing things on accident. So we had a top around what 1648. It did not make it up there last time. It is currently trading around 812. So still under this level. It did go up to 1592. So this is an older mark from 6/30/2025. Should allow me to off of there. Find me. Crazy it won't allow me to. Okay, it is what it is. But yeah, 1592 is where it tested the last time, and look exactly where it tested over here. Right up there to that level again and got pushed all the way back down. So gave back $8 of profit. So somebody really did not want to see that past 16. Okay. Back over here, let's go to SNTI. Hit a high of 13 or not 13, 394. Any obvious levels up here? So we got the 390 level back here. Possible level. Possible. Level. Okay. And then we have the next one at 512. That looks like a peak daily level up there. Hasn't made it up there yet. I don't know if it's possible. We'll watch and see. Peak daily level. Okay, so 513, let's scooch it back a little bit. Oh, that's pretty much it. Okay. So that's kind of a double top rather than a peak. So I think I may put that as a double top resistance that's held it down twice. Peaks are usually out by themselves. They've only been hit once. You know, they're really, really obvious. But this is more of a double top daily level. Okay, so yeah, 513 up there. Let's go to VOR, VOR. Like it had a gap, high and low gaps here. So the top of the gap is 1855. A higher gap level. And we have all right, higher gap level on the daily. Then we have our lower side, which is down here at 1010 almost. So let's go ahead and duplicate, bring this down. This is our lower gap level. 1050-ish. All right, so it's in here and it's currently trading around 1090. Okay. I mean the peak out here to $50, I don't even know if that's even possible. The top of this, I mean, at most maybe 1830, but the thing is the catalyst is weak. So basically they got a JP Morgan initiates coverage on Vor Biopharma with an overweight rating, announces price target of 43. Yeah, that isn't good enough catalyst. All right. So now that we've looked at the daily charts, let's go over here to the main charts. Pull up XCure real quick. So XCure came up here to 1592. Not really. This kind of messed up the structure here. This flatness, and then it came up and then broke down this flatness that looked like it should have held up, but it didn't. Broke that down to a lower, so no good structure over here on XCure. Go to 1 minute. Yeah, that flatness killed it. Got chopped up and then all of a sudden a little pop out and then back down. SNTI. Where is the structure? So pre-market lows were down here, right here at, and this is usually where I try to look for the trend. Is from pre-market lows. How is it holding above it? Let's go ahead and get a different drawing tool. Have our first idea of a trend. First idea of a trend upward from the low of like 230s up here. Looking at how it holds this throughout the day. Now it is above ATR highs here, previous days ATRs, right there 256, 257, 260, somewhere up in there. But it does have room back to this level unless it consolidates and continues to just kind of grind higher. Let's go look at VOR as well. VOR, pre-market lows were down here at 872. Down here and kind of got going up a little bit from this bottom right there. Broke down this level. Has a couple of ideas in here that could hold up. I'm not sure, or could become some type of resistance to the upside. And it's broken down this, so it's broken down, you know, some good levels that could have bounced here, bounced from this level 10 all the way back up to 14. It came back and broke down that trend, so it is looking a little weaker than most. And then from the top side, you know, it's may have had some type of downtrend here, right through here, but broke that out. Broke that out after bouncing here. Broke that out after bouncing through here and straight up, right? So at this point, this trend here is a little bit out of range. If it goes all the way down here, it's over with anyway. So that's out of range. So that's disqualified for now. From this top, no real structure from this top though. Kind of just straight down to the 10. This is the lower daily gap side, right at that 1059 where it bounced the first time. And yeah, I'm not totally in love with that, especially with that weak catalyst. SNTI making its way on down. Wait, where are my notes? Bring those notes over here. Bring those notes over here. I need to add some more bars in front of it so my notes can be in front. Let me go and do that. How to do that? Things. Add some bars in front. 37 bars. What about 100 bars? Will that fix it? Yeah. All right. Okay, so now I can have my notes out here, read them. Okay, so it has room down here to these levels, what, 280s, as long as it continues to walk up here. It has 15 million shares traded on it. It does have a top, and it also has a little bit, let me see, it's right here. It's another idea. Could be. See how it holds up around the 315s or so. It is what it is, but got a lot of work to do. Back over to Xcure. Just don't trust that one. Yeah, I'm not sure about that one. Anyway, we're just sitting out here observing the market. All of my trades this month have been green, so I've been looking to I've been keeping my risk, you know, where it's, I mean, I haven't changed risk or anything. 72 bucks every trade, but I just haven't had a red trade, so it is what it is. Finding the structure, well, first finding the reason why, the catalyst, then looking into the floats, looking into, you know, what is this company, and are they actually, is this something that can help a lot of people? And what's the competition on the day? And then finding a structure that makes sense, and getting to it. Morning, Danielle. Send TY coming on down here. Let's see if this idea holds up right here. 325s ish. Now it's only up 37%, but it still has the most volume. For the higher floats, I really don't. If there is a penny stock moving, I really don't focus on penny stocks with higher floats. Usually the only penny stocks that move are the low float penny stocks. Like they're like 50 cents, but they got a super low float. They have a very high chance of making it to, you know, 75 cents, maybe $1. But if they're higher float, they just get so choppy. They start looking like a barcode. Coming down there right to that idea. And that's the thing. I don't know if these ideas are valid until it validates them. So I kind of just throw them out there. If it breaks right through, cool. If it stops here, there's some kind of thinking going on there before it continued down there. So I'm like, okay, but still in the back of my head, I'm like, neither one of these have been like solidified as some type of support. So it still could break down here. And if I were to buy at this 324, am I willing to sit through the pain of having it come all the way down here to 280? 20 cents down, right? That's a double tap right on that level, right on that trend on SNTI. Or it's pretty much the only thing that's right now. WBE, I think I'm gonna clean that one off. It's not gonna make it. Not gonna make it. FULC, I'm gonna clean that one off. I made my little bit off of that one. Crashed down on me. I wish it would have stayed up there. I was up like, let me see if it'll show it. Usually takes a day for these things to come through. Nope, it's not there yet. It is what it is. I got 15 cents off of it, but I could have had a lot more. My average take was 15 cents. All right, clean that one off. We buy off as well. Let the scanners work. So I'm not seeing anything that I'm just super in love with right now. Xcure had the news from yesterday afternoon. I'm not sure how hot that news is gonna be, especially with SNTI having news on today. I would much rather watch this one, SNTI, than Xcure, and it is a little bit higher float, but it's not just out of just crazy high float. But it definitely has a volume. 18 million shares traded on it right for now. And this is what I was talking about. So SNTI, somebody thought, oh wow, this could be an idea. And so they probably bought here. And now are they willing to hold through this pain for it to come down to this next level? It's only up 33% at this point. So if it does come down here, it'll probably only be up like 24%, maybe. I'm just eyeing it. I don't actually know. I think there is some kind of percentage thing that you could put on here, but I just don't have it on here. Let's see, settings, price charts, some type of percent you could put on here. Show prices. I forgot how to do it. Oh well. Here's what it is. This is where everybody's looking right now, SCNTI. So while they're doing that, let's go ahead and look through the rest of the news and kind of see where the day is sitting. All right, so it says Trump hits the road to tackle con job affordability gripes. Trump's Nvidia shift hands Xi an opening on security curbs. Why Apple's slow pace in AI is now a strength. Home Depot guidance signals doubt about a housing rebound. China to limit access to Nvidia's H200 H200 chips despite Trump approval. The median home in the US costs 415K. Here's what that buys you. CVS profit forecast for 2026 tops estimates. Amid turnaround, EU hits Google with an antitrust probe over its AI tools. Is Siller looks it whatever that is. Director says Meta's stake in Ray-Ban maker at least 3%. Trump says support for interest rate cuts is key test of Fed chair nominee. Microsoft to invest more than 5.4 billion in Canada to boost AI infrastructure. Gold steady as investors focus on U.S. rate policy next year. Good morning, RexCon. RexCon says I'm still back testing and experimenting with FVGs. I see two different possible stops on the attached chart. Any thoughts? Let me go look at that up Discord real quick. Said it's interesting how it came right back to FVG. Let's see. Come on, Discord, pull up. Hey, Discord. So your fair value gap, the swing low. This is SNTI. You see where that lines up with this chart. So that was the 233. No, that's a little bit higher than that. It must be up here, 250s. Oh, it's a little bit higher than that. 272s is pretty much where the swing low that you got it is. 272. And then you had another one at around $3, the whole dollar level. And then you had one right under something here, like 323s ish. But this is what I was talking about. So anybody that bought their first idea, they got to be willing to sit through this pain. And it can still has room down here to the 286s if it wants to. I don't know if it's going to, but yeah, quite a bit of a fall it could have, and still hasn't given us any descending trends. So only uptrending, trying to get back to normalcy. So how much? So when it does a fair value gap, how many bars is it looking back? Is it fair value gapping on the last like 3 bars, 4 bars? Is it the days? What amount of time does it have to go through for these fair value gaps? Or is it every minute? Does it just update every minute? 3. Okay, I see it. 3. Okay. So 3 bars. Last 3 bars. Got you. That is very SNTI now have inverted FVG. Yeah. That is now it starts to slow down there. Now it's only up 28, 29%. So like I said, if it goes down here to this next level, it'll be right around 24-ish percent, 23, maybe 22. We want to see if people need to get aggressive on it. It didn't need to just float around. Another one just popped up, PBM. PBM. $2.17 on PBM. Today I am seeing a news catalyst. It says what is this? Science Biomed CEO letter highlights clinical progress, ethical sourcing of ibogaine, strong cash position, and expanding leadership in longevity science. And then I think this is another one. It says Science Biomed CEO year-end letter highlights phase 2B silo whatever trial progress ethical ibogaine sourcing in Africa over 9 million cash and expanding longevity. Okay, that is PBM. Let's go and do our due diligence on PBM. It is up 32%. It's running up to Xcure. May have more volume than it very soon, but let's go ahead and do our due diligence while we got time. All right, let's go look at the float first, and we'll look at the profile. Get some notes out here. So first things first. Float is looking like 1.86 million. 1.86 million. This one is not really heavily held by insiders or institutions, but it's more on the institution side. Okay. Get that. Over to the profile, see what this profile is talking about. Yeah, it's probably gonna catch up with XQ very quickly with that volume. Okay, Science Biomedical Limited engages in the development of botanical. Oh my gosh. Okay, these words are insane. So I'm gonna skip a lot of them. Okay, so it says disorder in patients. So it also evaluates natural psilocybin for the treatment of adjustment disorder in patients with incurable cancer diagnosis in palliative palliative care context. The company's lead product candidate it's in phase 2B clinical study. A capsule containing naturally sourced psilocybin for treatment of anxiety and depression. So this is anxiety and depression. Depression. Last earlier this week we saw obesity. So now it's kind of shifting from obesity to oppression, or not oppression, depression, stress, grief, PTSD. See, this one is out of Canada, Toronto, Canada. Has 12 employees. It is a healthcare biotech. Ontario. Okay, so let's notate all of that. "12 employees, anxiety and depression." Then where is Ontario? Okay, so there's my notes there. And we will activate, see them. I put about 100 bars out here so I can have my notes right in front of it, so I can see my notes as I'm looking at the chart, so I'm not stupid. Like, oh, this is why I'm not in this. Okay. It is up 23% now. It's almost to the greater volume than XCure. So if it ends up surpassing XCure, I'm just going to leave XCure alone, because if this is the thing that's going to get the top volume, that's where we need to be looking. Right now, SNTI came down here almost to that whole dollar level, that $3 level right there. Got a little bounce, but can it hold up here? Can it show us any kind of new levels in here? Has this trend up here that could be some type of resistance, but I'm not sure which way it wants to go right now. But it does have the most volume, 20 million shares traded. I'll keep my eyes on the scan, but let's go jump back over here to the news. For right now, SNTI and PBM were the two that were kind of showing some type of bullishness, but PBM definitely. So let me see. First kind says, would you prefer the 25-cent stop or the 50-cent stop? Updated chart posted. Let me go look there. Let's see. So yeah, the 25-cent, 50-cent, 50-cent under the low. Swing low. If it gets back down there, oh well. But if it doesn't get back down there, it's cool. But on this one, with the way it's still not enough structure for me. I would have to see that that upward motion to see that aggression by the buyers first. But the swing low, that 50 cent stop is where I would be. Um, for sure. Yeah, 25 cents. No, you probably gonna get ringed out at that 25 cent level. What price was that 25 cent level? It was right at the through right around a three. So you would have got stopped out on this if you were at the 25 cent level, right? Well, it came right down to the threes. I mean, it would have almost got you. Would have almost got you. So, but it's also depending on your size too. If you have huge size, a 50 cent drop on, like, 2,000 something shares or 3,000 shares, that may hurt quite a bit. So it's not just it's your risk tolerance as well. Because you could put 50 cent out there, but if you lose that 50 cent over the next 10 trades and you're taking sides that is injuring you, that's not great. You know, that's not great at all. But yeah, Donnell knows I have a little bit higher pain tolerance for these things. So, I kind of put mine out there. I'm okay with that little 50 cents. I'm like, all right, let's see what you got. PMB continue to fall on off, maybe just a round trip coming back to this ATR high. From the bottom, pre-market lows looks like down here at 162s. Not a super clear, kind of just a little dot out here. But from the lows, we have this little bit here, and we'll see how that ends up holding. Ends up breaking down this ATR high, but it's only at 21% now, so definitely not something that people are just jumping the gun for, right? 20% is really gonna have to get back up here. The highs were at 239s. SNTI. Now we're seeing a little bit more structure, but it is a little steep here. So the top here from $4 down, that's very steep. I'm not gonna put that in there yet. I could easily not do what I wanted to do. Could just consolidate. But anyway, that $3 level there definitely got a little pop from the three up to the 325s. Kind of tighter range there though. All right, so right now looking at these low floats, this penny stock NCPL, I don't know why it has so much volume. It doesn't. They got a new CEO. They got some kind of something under the Nasdaq listing rule, like a grant, but I'm not sure that it's. I'm not sure why it has so much volume. I would like to see something get above that in the low floats, but for now, it has the volume, and Xcure just continues to move up too. Xcure moving on up. So I had this little kind of uptrend here. We're wondering, can it hold this low right around $8? But no significant company operations though. All right, so I'm gonna keep my eyes on all of these. Let's go over to the news. It's already, yeah. Let's get to the see what's going on. All right, so 17 minutes ago, how China's AI chips stack up against Nvidia's H200. See what they're talking about out here. Oracle again. Let's see how Mag 7 lead. Look at history as a guide, not as gospel. Fed rate cuts would be bullish for areas.
So it does seem like of the big tech plays that are AI linked, Oracle has been kind of the most controversial, right?
Well, they have. I mean, the issue is they're a very small player in cloud computing. They're about 3-ish%, depending on who you look at, of the total cloud computing market. They've done a couple interesting things. They've really focused on sovereign AI, or on sovereign workloads, which is becoming a big deal, and specifically on AI workloads. So they're trying to be a bigger part of that. But they have, kind of exclusively almost gone with NVIDIA, a little bit of AMD, whereas you see all the other big cloud providers looking at doing, custom accelerators, often with Broadcom. So Google's done that, AWS has done that, Microsoft is doing that, everybody else is, Meta's doing that. So they're kind of linked in there, and then of course they're also linked with OpenAI. And so years ago, a year ago, if it was NVIDIA and OpenAI, you're like, we're good. Now it's like, well, yeah, you're good, but I think there's just a sense of a desire for more diversity across the board, right? So we're seeing diversity in the silicon that's being used to accelerate AI workloads. There's a lot more interest. NVIDIA is still going to do great, don't get me wrong, but people are like, hey, you know what? Maybe they don't have to have 90%. Maybe they only have to have 60% share, right?
Yeah.
And so building out all that other stuff. And then again, OpenAI is not the only game in town at all anymore. And so there's a lot of other things happening there. And as you guys were just talking, as they were just discussing in the previous segment, that circular discussion on financing has not gone away. You and I talked about it, I think, last time I was here.
Yeah.
And that's just a real factor that has to be brought into this, because it does make things a little bit more uncertain. And as a result, and I know I was when I was doing some research, Jared did a nice piece last week on the credit default swaps and all the bonds and stuff that Oracle's using to finance this infrastructure. Again, that's another question I think that's been raised. So, the big question for them ultimately is, okay, how do they build that OCI business? Their software business is big and fine, but it's stable and flat, not really doing a whole lot. So OCI is where their opportunity is.
Okay, so OCI, which is its cloud computing business, what could they say on this call or in this report to ease concerns of investors? What do you think people are going to be paying the most attention to?
I think the big things will be around, obviously, other big clients besides an OpenAI, right? If they can nail a couple of big other big companies, and then overall growth. I do think, look.
Okay, so over here real quick on SNTI. So this was our original idea. Came down, kind of thought about what it wanted to do here. Came down to the secondary idea, swung low under at 288s, and now we're seeing it swing back up to the threes. Now this whole dollar level can do one of two things. It could be an accelerant, or it can be a resistance right there at that $3 level. I think I just saw something new pop up. Was it ENCS? Looking like a round trip. Went up there from 164 very quickly, and now down down to 14-12%. So round trip, just saw it pop real quick. Okay. Don't know. Let's see. So this Insights Bioscience achieves major milestone with the initiation of enrollments in pivotal phase 3 trial of PF614. It's a next generation opioid. So yeah, next generation opioid dropping through the ground. So not too interested in that. You gotta be able to hold up. Okay. PBM just went on down, so that one's out of the league. Xcure continues to push up. So made this bottom here, and the question is, can it continue to hold this $8 level bottom with no significant operation? I'm scared of this one actually. This one's not doing much, but it's trying to do something. I'm actually scared of that one. Doesn't make sense, is what I'm saying. Or now, just seeing TI. Like I said, that $3 hold dollar level is going to do one of two things: become an accelerant or a blocker. And right now, this next idea is holding it down, making it look like a blocker. And under 288 is definitely not going to be looking too good. Xcure. You're really not making sense over here. If people focus on Xcure, you know that there's death in the market today. Got 9 million shares. They'll continue to come out here. Should come back down. I don't know. Moved from 8 up to 936. Yeah. I don't like any of that. Look at all that volume coming in. They hopping on for the ride down, I guess. Okay. Looking around here. Seeing TI still has so much volume. All right, so now we got another outlier. So we can mark this idea up for a downtrend. Now we got two downtrends. Two ideas for downward motion. Fire this one off like. Okay. We'll see. The more downtrend ideas we get, the more likely it is for it to dump. But especially with weak catalysts, no significant operations in the business, even though it is a low float, you know, everything else in it is bad. You know. So this is telling me to just chill out. If this is where people want to focus, chill out. Relax. PMB now only up 4%, went all the way back down to the bottom. So low floats right now are looking a little bit dead. Or I'll probably continue to watch as the day goes on. SNTI, not sure. Did form a new low down here on SNTI. So treated this idea as some type of resistance and kept going. Well, it's this idea and the whole dollar level of $3 pushing it down. So it continues to push down. It'll be not looking so great, even with all this volume on it. Bottom of the 285s and continues to make these little lower wicks. Up 21%. 4. That's one I'm interested in. See what it wants to do. I don't know how it has a beta that high though. It's got a beta of 8, which is insane. That means if the market goes up, it goes up. I mean, it goes up with the market, literally. I don't know if that beta is correct. Maybe once we get the open, it'll recalculate, but I don't know if beta changes during the day though. So I think it's a stagnant number. There are some betas that move. They readjust the calculation as how much time it takes for it to react to the market. If it reacts fast, then it gets a higher beta. If it reacts slow, then the beta lowers throughout the day. Senate says big day tomorrow, FOMC. OMC. So 12, what's tomorrow? The 9th, 10th. Okay, so FOMC meeting. Yeah. I don't know. Today, I don't know if I'm gonna be risk on. I think today, with the way that it's looking, there could be some you know, kind of sitting on the sideline. Okay, Vor, or no, is this SNT? What is it? Vor. Vor is the one that I've been watching. I thought could do something later on. I'm probably going to continue watching this one. Has this low here of the 979s. Looks like it's got pretty good range too. What was that float? 8.9 million. I'm gonna keep an eye over here on Vor too. From the bottom, let's see, bottom, we got another little idea through here. This will be, if this one starts to grind down more, this will be the first idea that isn't super steep for a descending level. So we'll see what the reaction is to the ascending level as it tries to go down and test it. If it holds here, I'm not sure if that's the actual hold point, but I'll wait to see that hold point. All right. So looking for the structure. After you get all your news and you figure out why you want to be looking at this and blah, 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 then you want to see where's the structure. So we got one side of the structure. Can we see any clear downtrends though? Okay. So from the top, pull back there. And it's not certified as a downtrend yet. It has to be tested. And also this uptrend has to be tested. And it's right there on the ATR highs where it stopped. XCure coming on down as well. Whoa, what happened to PMB? Why did it shoot back up? PMB went down there, was down like to 9 cents, and it shot back up here all the way to 207 real quick. That was crazy. Okay. Now it's back down to 13 cents or 13%. Okay, that makes more sense. I was like, what in the world's going on with PMB? XCure coming on back down. So we had the two downtrends, two ideas of downtrends, and it is cracking back below, and we'll see how it ends up holding this 813. But it well, no, actually, because of the what we found out about it, no significant operations in the business, full-time employees 7, not really something that's pushing for growth. And so for it to be up, this is a red flag actually. I should put red flag out here on the top of this. Let me put red flag. Or just do not trade. That's better. Do not trade. That'll work. Not trade. And yeah, so I'm going to be looking at the other things and waiting for this one to fall off. NCL, NCPL. PMB. Getting a lot of popping around here. I'm not sure about PMB. Anxiety and depression. I guess people are bipolar about this one. Okay, so VOR, again, this is our first little outlier where we can kind of see some type of descent here. This was the lower daily gap level at the 1059s, has room down here to the 979s. Seeing TI continue downward as well, continues to make these lower moves. Definitely not sure about that one, but VOR, I think I'll keep on watch. VOR I'm more interested in. Okay. Well, it is time for me to get on down. I do have to transition. Got a little ride. Got to get on out to the office. So, yeah. We didn't look at a lot of news today, but we looked at enough to be like, okay, it's pretty much, the same old, same old. They talk about Oracle and if it's going to take over any AI or whatever, or take on more AI infrastructure. Fed rate cuts coming up. We know that China, even though President Trump has approved China having access to these NVIDIA H200s, China is probably going to be limiting those when it comes to mass distribution in China. Other titles. Let's go look at all of these. Other titles of interest. Let's see. That's pretty much it. Fed rate cut, or yeah, that's the main thing. The Fed rate cut. Then after that, I really don't know where it can go. But today, we have a bunch of biotechs. Matter of fact, this whole week we've had a lot of biotechs. So I would say keep your eyes peeled for these biotechs. I'm gonna be watching VOR. If it can give any opportunities, I'll probably be looking at that. As far as the low float scans, just not looking great, man. I just don't like any of these low floats. And if this one takes over, NCPL, this little penny stock, if it takes over, yeah, I'm just gonna sit on my hands. Because even it has more volume than VOR. And for people to be trading a 90-cent stock today with this much volume, they're insane. Before a rate cut, they're insane. So I'm gonna let them be insane by themselves, and I'm going to keep my nose real clean. X-Core. Now remember, we saw the two downwards ideas, and look how quickly it's making its way back down to this low level. Look at that. This is why we look for structure first. So yeah, we had this little uptrend, but it wasn't. We didn't know if this uptrend was real or not. Look how quickly it gave back all of that back to that uptrend. Back to that 823, right? Like, structure, man. The structure will save your life. Now, I know there are other indicators, like fair value gaps and all of that, but yeah, I just find the structure and be like, all right, let's see if this idea holds or not. Okay, so that one's going on down with the wind. But yeah, I got to get on out of here. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Y'all already know what I'm going to be looking at. If I see anything else pop up, I will update in the Discord. Well, once I stop driving, of course, I will update in the Discord, but that's about it. I've taken 4 trades this month, and I am green on all of them. So I've been making right around 10 to 15 cents on each one. Definitely could have got a little bit more on FULC. I just didn't take profit. I mean, it bounced for me from 14.34 up to 15.76, and I thought it was going to be holding up there, but it got slapped down hard, and it ended up stopping me out. So it stopped me out with green, but man, I had some dough in pocket. Definitely had some dough in pocket. I had 161 shares at 14.34. And it actually went up to 1570 something. So I really, man, I was like, man, come on, bro. Could have held up there, but it couldn't. It couldn't. But yeah, that's it for today. I got to get to running. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. And as always, see you guys in the next one. Peace.